Alright guys, I'm back with my video blogs. My computer took a dump on me, so I've been AOL, AWOL, AWOL for a little while. I got a few things I got to talk about, nothing in particular. I'm not titling this blog anything special because I haven't been feeling creative today. The UFC Fight for the Troops is coming up. I will be giving my predictions on that tomorrow. Then the Saturday I'll be giving my post-fight reaction video. Anyways, there'll be the money goes to the Intrepid Fallen Heroes Foundation, which is a really cool charity. I didn't realize how cool of a charity it was until I went online and looked at some videos. These guys that come back from the war are pretty messed up. There was one guy that in the video that I watched on the UFC website that had lost 24% of his brain functionality, and they didn't find out about it until after he had already gotten back. So this charity, that the money that the UFC is doing this for, it's a really worthy cause. It's really incredible. The other stories that I also witnessed when I went through watching the videos. So that's really cool. Another thing is, the other day I didn't have access to a car, so I didn't want to sit around the house all day. So what I did is I pulled out a bike, which I have not ridden, and I haven't ridden a bike anywhere in probably over a year. And I hopped on, and I had to run some errands, and I was out on a bike for 4 hours. I was out for about 5.5 hours, but I was riding for about 4 hours, and I got my workout in that way, and it was really I liked it. I got a great kick out of it. So I got another bike nice and fixed up, and I'm going to get a new seat for it tomorrow, and that's how I've been getting my exercise in. It's something new for me, and I'm giving it a shot. You know, it hurts like crap. My legs get torn up. I thought my legs were in good shape, but they've been getting torn up really bad riding this bike. But my butt hurts like you wouldn't believe, so I have to get a new cushion for the seat. Anyways, oh yes, movies. I'm going to go ahead and recommend that you watch The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo, the Swedish version, and the sequel to that, which is The Girl Who Played with Fire. They're both phenomenal movies. The Girl with the Dragon Tattoo is the better of the two, and I'm going to be probably watching The Girl Who Caked the Hornet's Nest, which is the third in the trilogy, tonight. All very good movies. And I just saw the preview for this movie called Romeo and Juliet. It looks hilarious. It's about garden gnomes, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. Anyways, in MMA, I've got a few things I got to talk about. Sean Shirk is injured. I've been wondering where he's been since his victory over Evan Dunham. Looks like he's injured again. He's not expecting a return to the UFC until the summer, which sucks. I really like Sean Shirk. I might be one of his few fans out there, but I don't care. The guy's a beast, and he won't be returning to the UFC until the summer, so that really sucks. In other news, Dave Branch is stepping in to fight Husamar Paul Harris at UFC on Versus. That's going to be awesome. I love Paul Harris. I think he's the future of the middleweight division, and he needs to make a few tweaks in his game, and give him a couple of years, and you will see him at the top of the division. I already think, as far as the UFC middleweight division is concerned, I think he's probably hanging in the top 5 or so. Obviously below Nate Marquardt. I'd like to see him go take on a guy like Damian Maia. That'd be really interesting. UFC 128 added Mike Pyle versus Ricardo Almeida, which is good. That's a really good fight. I would look for Ricardo Almeida to take that fight. How, I don't know, because it's going to be Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I think it's going to be a ground battle, but it'll be an interesting one. And Dan Miller's going to fight Nick Cantone. Dan Miller hasn't done so hot in the UFC, but he's been pulling together some wins. He got 4 losses in a row, and they didn't cut him. They obviously saw something in him, but they also put him against balls hard opponents. So Nick Cantone just lost. I think he got just suffered his first loss in his MMA career. Could be wrong. So that'll be an interesting battle. Another ground situation probably. But those two have been added to UFC 128. Bob Sapp came out to explain why he didn't fight at Dream Dynamite 2010. He says that Dream is broke. He was scared they weren't going to pay him or something or other. This is not an uncommon rumor as far as Dream is concerned. There's been a lot of that going around Dream and not paying people and whatever. I don't know if that's... I don't know how I feel about him not fighting, him pulling out of the fight the day of the fight because of that kind of thing. I think, well, if your concern is that you're not going to get paid, then maybe you shouldn't have signed the contract to begin with. I still hope we get to see some Bob Sapp in action. I always enjoy his fights. I mean, he's Bob Sapp. I wouldn't put him in a major promotion ever, but in like Dream Super Hulk tournaments and stuff, I think he's perfect. I think he should fight James Toney in like a Dream Super Hulk tournament. That would be awesome, but I don't think he'll be fighting for Dream ever again. Former UFC middleweight contender Patrick Cote is signed with a Canadian promotion, Ringside MMA, to make his debut with the organization at the main event of the to-be-named show on April 9th with a to-be-named opponent. I like that he didn't sign with MFC, because if he would have signed with MFC, he would have only been fighting twice a year, and he wouldn't have been able to string together some wins in order to get back into a major promotion like the UFC or Strikeforce or whoever. So, I'm glad that he took that deal. Hopefully he'll be able to fight there and then fight in another card that they have soon after, or maybe they'll let him fight in another promotion. That'll be pretty exciting. Nick Diaz wants a couple fucking $1 million to fight Mayhem. Said there's no reason to fight says there's no reason that the fight with Nick Diaz and GSP can't go down. Well, I hate to break it to you, Nick Diaz, but here's how promotions work. You're in Strikeforce. Strikeforce doesn't get along with the UFC. You just signed a new multi-fight contract with Strikeforce, and if you want to fight GSP, that's impeding the progress of making that fight happen, you idiot. You're Nick Diaz. The Diaz brothers are idiots. For Nick Diaz to say that there's no reason why the fight with GSP can't happen, I hate to break it to you, buddy, but it can't happen. Not unless you plan on violating your contract with Strikeforce and jumping ship to the UFC, because the UFC ain't gonna let GSP go. So your best bet is to just take the fight with Mayhem, quit ducking him, and enjoy yourself where you're at, because if you really wanted this fight with GSP to happen, you were the idiot that signed with Strikeforce again. You should have pulled a Jake Shields, waited for your contract to expire, and jumped ship to the UFC. I'm sure Dana would be glad to have you back, but you're such a moron that you didn't. And now you think this fight with GSP, oh yeah, that's easy. We can put that together. Go ahead and put it together, buddy. You're a moron.